We are glad to have you join us on today's edition of Our World. My name is David Livingstone.
And I am Farah Boluwaji. This is where we learn and play. The program continues after the break. Stay with us.
I'm Engineer Rex Uzabala, the Executive Director, Rex Graphics Nigeria Limited. Our World is an interesting program. It's entertaining, it's educative. It's not just for kids, it's for adults as well. Everybody should watch Our World. It's always on AIT by 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. I'm always tuning in to Our World, and I expect you to also do so.
Making sure that children fulfill their potential in good health.
Here's something you need to know about diabetes, especially in children. Over to Oche.
Hello friends, I'm Joshua Daniel. Today I'll be sharing more light on the topic diabetes. What do you know about diabetes? Every year, World Diabetes Day has been celebrated on November 14th since 2007 in honor of Frederick Banting, whose birthday it is. Frederick Banting is, with Charles Best, at the origin of the discovery of insulin. Thanks to them, since 1921, children with diabetes have been able to regulate their blood sugar levels, which allows them to survive. With the discovery of insulin over 100 years ago, thousands of children around the world still do not have access to this medication or to care for their diabetes. Eating healthy and exercise are ways to keep diabetes away. World Diabetes Day is an opportunity to raise awareness about the impact of diabetes on the health of people and to highlight the opportunities to strengthen the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of diabetes. The theme for World Diabetes Day 2021 to 2023, November 14th, is Access to Care. Let us spare a thought for all these children and mobilize ourselves so that all children in the world can obtain the best care for their diabetes. Make sure you stay healthy. The program continues with David and Farah after the break. I am Joshua Daniel.
Nothing beats good health. Up next, an interesting interaction with a role model who is passionate about giving children the right start to life through his foundation.
A Day with is next.
Leadership is an essential ingredient of life. There is therefore a need to know how it can be developed, particularly in Africa, where there seems to be a dearth of good leadership.
Nothing prospers or ruins a society like its leadership, hence the clamor for effective leadership development from childhood. Today, we have the honor of spending a day with the founder of Children of African Leadership and Values Development Initiative, CALDEV, who is also a member of House of Representatives, where he serves as a chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable Bamidele Salam.
So whether you want to find out what CalDev is all about or gain more knowledge about leadership, our guest here is ready to provide answers to our questions. Join us after the break. Welcome back.
Welcome to the program, sir.
Tell us about yourself. Growing up, did you envisage becoming a politician and a child advocate?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, growing up, I wouldn't say that I envisaged being a politician. I actually did not plan to be a politician when I was growing up. If you ask me when I was a child what I wanted to become, I would tell you I wanted to become a lawyer and go to court and defend the cause of the poor. And yes, even now I'm also a lawyer, but I never thought that I was going to go into politics. So politics just started uh, maybe when I was in the university. I was in the students' union, and because of that, I developed a passion for political activities. And you also asked whether I actually thought about championing the cause for children. Yeah, to that question, I answer yes. Right from the time I was much younger than this, I'd always been interested in things that have to do with children.
Sir, what inspired you to set up CalDev and hasn't been living up to your expectations?
Yes, before CalDev, I had a non-governmental organization that was founded that we call the Hopeful Kids Foundation. And the Hopeful Kids Foundation started one day when I went to a particular orphanage in Oshobo, Osho State, owned by the Catholic. So I went there and I saw the condition of the children in that orphanage. I saw the kind of clothes they were using as diapers for the children. I saw the kind of situation they were in, and I was quite very sad. And that was how I started the Hopeful Kids Foundation, to ask people to donate money, to donate food, baby items like clothing and diapers and so on, to support those children in the Catholic orphanage. So it was in the pursuit of this that I then decided with some of my friends in 2015 that we should start an organization that will cater for the all-round development of children, starting with the issue of leadership and education and welfare. And those my friends, about six of us, decided to start the CalDev in 2015. And then in 2016, we got it registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and we began to hold activities every year to celebrate children and also to write books for children, like these books. Some of these books that we wrote for children was also a product of the CalDev to ensure that children have things that they can read and study and be able to grow up to become good leaders and to be able to also impact other children even while they were still young.
Has CalDev had programs in other African countries? If yes, how was the response in comparison to Nigeria?
The CalDev had an excursion program first to Ghana in 2017 and in 2019 to South Africa, where we got children to visit those countries to be able to interact with children from other countries. And especially the South African visit in 2019, May of 2019 to South Africa was a very, very interesting one. Children numbering almost 100 went with CalDev to South Africa, Johannesburg in particular, and were involved in several activities, visit to interesting places, and then visit to schools so that children from Nigeria, children from South Africa can share experience about how their school system works, what kind of subjects they learn, what are the kind of facilities available in the school. And this is a very, very important thing, because when you have an opportunity to meet with your counterpart from other parts of the world or other parts of the country, you learn from one another. But most of our programs have held in Nigeria. And for example, this weekend, we're also holding a program very soon in Abuja, where children from all over Nigeria are coming together for a conference, the National Children Leadership Conference, which is the biggest gathering of children in Nigeria, where children will be able to talk together, learn together, and also express their opinion on major policies of government affecting children in Nigeria. So we are hoping that as we go on, we are going to be able to involve more children from other African countries in the program that CalDev does.
What are the challenges the NGO is facing, especially in areas relating to the parental cooperation and governmental policies?
Okay, now in terms of government cooperation, some of these things actually take time. Yes, there are challenges. There are some government agencies and organizations that have not really, being into policies and programs that have to do with children. And one of the things that we are trying to do in CalDev is to ensure that every government organization, ministry organization, have a child policy. So if you are, for example, the National Communication Commission as an example, we are trying to see how they will have a child policy, how an organization like Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, which deals with flying around, managing of the airport, regulating the airlines, will have a child policy. And it is in that area, when every organization has a child policy, that children will be able to identify well with such such organizations. So it's still a work in progress. The conference that we are holding very soon, for example, there are a few of these government agencies that are already collaborating with us. So we're trying to bring parents together also in a parent forum where they can share ideas, they can collaborate together so that child upbringing will be much easier for most of the parents. And we are getting cooperation from the parents in this regard.
Sir, can you tell us about the upcoming conference?
This particular program, which we call the National Children Leadership Conference, is a program that is meant to bring together children from all over Nigeria between the ages of 12 and 17. 12 and 17-year-old children from Sokoto, from Enugu, from Lagos, from Osun, from Rivers, from Abuja, from various parts of Nigeria, to come together from Friday 17th to Tuesday 21st of November. So what will they be doing? They will be coming together for the purpose of learning, like I said. We're going to bring people who are going to teach children different things. For example, they will teach them about financial intelligence, financial literacy. As a young child, you should be able to know how to handle money, how to keep money, how to save money, and how to invest. There will also be sessions that will talk about drug abuse, the causes and prevention of drug abuse. There will be sessions that will talk about safety in our schools, how to stay safe in the school as a child. What are the things you should avoid? What are the things you can do when in school? When you are at home, how do you stay safe in your use of telephone, in your use of electrical gadgets, in your interaction with other children, in your interaction with adults? Because we're going to be reading books, we are going to be reviewing books, we are going to be doing competitions, there will be quiz competition, there will be so many competitions that children will win a lot of prizes and awards. And then a very important part of the program is what we call the Children Mock Parliamentary Session, where children will replicate the House of Representatives sitting. There will be a speaker, there will be a deputy speaker, there will be a clerk, there will be members of the House elected amongst children. And then they will discuss, just as we do when we are in Parliament. They will raise motion, they will debate it, and then there will be a resolution. It will be a very important program. And Monday 28th is actually the Universal Children's Day, which will also be part of this program that we are going to be holding. So it's a whole lot of events for children, and I hope to see you there too.
How do you get children for your events?
Yes, now there are different ways through which children participate in the CalDev program. One of the ways is through their schools. We contact schools in some instances to nominate children to participate in programs. Sometimes we also get children through other organizations. There are many organizations that are organizing programs that have to do with children. So we also get across to them at times to nominate children to participate. There are times that we also put up notice in the newspapers, on the social media. So a parent that sees it may say, "Oh yeah, I love this program. I want my children to participate." And then they will call us and tell us that they want their children to participate and come to participate. So these are some of the ways through which we invite children to come and participate. But in every program that we do, we seek the consent of the parent or guardian of the child. That is very, very important. So through any means that the child comes in, the parent has to give a consent that they want their child to participate in that program. And if possible, we also encourage the parent to also attend the programs, because learning, you cannot end learning. Learning is a continuous thing.
So, what will be the selection process for attendance in order to get every region and social class on board?
That's a very good question. So what we did is that apart from sending out the general invitation, to some state governments that they can sponsor children to come for the program, which means children from Sokoto, children from Oshun, children from Imo will come together. They already represent people from different geopolitical zones. Apart from that, we also know that there are some children, for example, there are children in IDP camps. So in those camps, there are children. So we also wrote letters to the IDP Commission to also bring children from the IDP camp. We also wrote letters out to the physically challenged schools where you have children that are people living with disabilities, maybe school for the handicapped, school for the deaf or the blind and so on. They will also nominate children that will come from there. And then, of course, schools, different schools were also contacted to nominate one or two persons that will be coming around for. So that's how we get children to represent all the diversities we have as a people in the camp.
What do you make of the school of thought that postulates that leadership is about experience and the other that argue that it is exclusively inherent?
Very good question. I always tell people who say that, the way they put the question is this: are leaders born or made? In other words, are people born natural leaders or they grow up to become leaders? And I do tell people that I believe very strongly that 80% of leaders are made, 20% are born. I believe very strongly that only 20% can be said to be born with natural ability for leadership. Yes, I agree that there are natural abilities that come with people, innate abilities. But 80%, in 80% of the cases, leaders are made. Leaders are nurtured. Leaders are trained, because the art of leadership, includes a lot of things that you can acquire by training, by mentoring. A good leader must be patient. A good leader must be curious. A good leader must be humble. A good leader must have good communication. And communication is not just about talking. Communication is also about what? Apart from talking, what? Listening. A leader must also be able to listen. It doesn't just have to be one who talks. You should be able to listen, because the communication is a two-way thing.
Culture plays a big role in leadership. What cultural norms are impeding and strengthening to Nigerian child's leadership development?
Unfortunately, we inherited quite a lot of things in our culture that we need to improve upon. I wouldn't say we need to abolish. I would just say a lot of things that we need to improve upon. And some of it I just mentioned, not allowing children to be able to freely express themselves or to express an opinion on any matter or any issue. It's not good for leadership. And in most culture, they don't want children to talk. They don't even want children to do anything. Just obey. Just do this. Yeah, it's good to obey, but we need to balance it. Again, there are quite a few other harmful practices. Thank God some of them are being eroded today. The way we administer corporal punishment at times can be very, very counterproductive. And again, I must say that there's a Child Rights Act. Are you aware of the Child Rights Act? It's a law that protects children. That is why this book is very, very important. Every child in Nigeria has a right. So there's a Child Rights Act. And this book is 160 things every child should know about the Nigerian Constitution, the Child Rights Act, and other laws. The Child Rights Act is a law that protects the interests of children. And we encourage all children to know those rights, so that if anybody is violating any child's rights, a child has a right to complain.
Sir, why does there seem to be better leadership in developed countries in contrast to many African countries?
It's part of what we are trying to solve in CALDEF. If you are able to inculcate the spirit of leadership in children and young adults. So what they do in other parts of the world is also to ensure that right from the foundation, right from when people are children like this, they teach them about leadership. They encourage them to live a life of service, a life of sacrifice. So in your school, if you're a prefect in this, who's the school prefect out of you here? All of you are prefect. Very good. So the purpose of the position you are holding now is to solve problems, is to serve your people. So you just identify, okay, there are a lot of maybe people are littering the floor with paper and so on, then you want to solve that problem. It's not good to litter the floor in the school. So you gather together and you think about it. Okay, let's agree that at 12 noon every day we're going to pick all the litters in our school, or we're going to ensure that anyone who does this is rewarded in this manner. So in those other countries, they teach children about leadership, and they provide opportunity for children to serve. They have something they call volunteering and civic service. So as you are growing up, you will be able to do this even at other level, to volunteer your time to serve community, to serve society. And when they do that, it means that if they get into leadership position, they are likely to be more responsible leaders than those who were only living for themselves, who were not doing anything when they were, when they were much younger.
How do you unwind and what sports do you enjoy best?
I play tennis. You know tennis? The lawn tennis. I love playing tennis. I always tell people I'm a tennis addict. I love to play tennis if I can play it every day, I don't mind. But because of my work, I play like twice or thrice in a week. I also love to travel. I love traveling a lot. I love visiting places and meeting people. Who loves traveling here? Everybody does. Good. So one of these days, maybe we'll travel somewhere on an excursion. We'll just go and see new things and meet new people. And then I love to read. Like you can see, I write books. So I use my spare time to also write books.
Tell us, sir, what would you like to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered as someone who taught as many lives as possible while he has the opportunity to do so. And how do you touch lives? By identifying the needs of people, and within your ability, you meet those needs. Nobody can solve all problems. Nobody can do all things. But within the limit of your own resources and ability, you help people and you touch their lives. So I want to be remembered for impact, the impact that I'm able to make on the young and the old, on everyone.
Many thanks for your time, sir. We have more awareness of the functions of CalDev and leadership and development. We pray for God's assistance in your effort to see a great Africa.
Thank you very much.
You will agree with me that our guest is quite brilliant and pleasant. Good information you got there. It's our world. Stay tuned.
God bless you all. My name is Pastor Itwai Godalo, and I've just been enjoying myself in this brilliant and wonderful program called Our World. It's fantastic. It brings creativeness to the children, it engages the parents, and it brings us into a brilliantly new world. I'd like to endorse the program and say it's a must-watch for every person. God bless you all.
A very commendable feat. Our world appreciates Honorable Salam for his impact in the lives of children and young adults.
Nigeria is a country blessed with human and natural resources and a beautiful weather too. State in Focus is next.
Hello, my name is Roya Oluwasomi. Our state in focus for this week is Borno State. Borno State is a state in the northeast of Nigeria. Its capital and the largest city is Maiduguri. It has 27 local government areas. Borno State shares borders with Republic of Niger to the north, Chad to the northeast, and Cameroon to the east. Within Nigeria, it shares boundaries with Adamawa State to the south, Gombe to the west, and Yobe to the northwest. Major languages of Borno State are Shua Arabic, Kanuri, and Margi. The traditional ruler known as the Shehu is Abubakar ibn Umar Gabai El Kanemi. In Borno State, agriculture contributes up to 65% of the state's GDP. Major cash crops are cotton, sesame, and groundnut, while food crops include maize, yam, cassava, sorghum, cowpea, millet, sweet potatoes, and rice. Its tourist sites include Goza Hills, Sambisa Game Reserve, Lake Alau, Borno State Museum, Lake Tila, Jari Falls, Lake Chad, Shehus Palace to mention but a few. The traditional foods include kisre, sinasa, biski, and denderu. Some popular personalities are Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume, late General Sani Abacha, Ali Modu Sherif, Kashim Shettima, Samuel Matthias. The governor of Borno State is Engineer Babagana Umara Zulum. Come visit us soon. Our work continues shortly.
Did you take part in last week's quiz? Well, it's time to find out who won. Over to you, Daniela.
It's Quiz Seminar Award. My name is Daniela Ihotu Daniel. Last week we asked,
List the words you can get from the word breakthrough.
words you can get from breakthrough include the winner is 10-year-old Damilola Johnson, who lives in Shongo Ota, Ogun State. Congratulations, the producer will get in touch with you. This week, name the 3 states where the off-cycle election took place. As always, text your answer stating your full name, age, and location to the producer award on 081-879-55548. Your time starts now. Good luck. Our work continues shortly. Stay with us.
Our time is up. Thanks for being a part of our world. My name is David Livingstone.
And I am Farah Boluwaji. We hope to see you again next week. Until then, it's bye for now.